So today we're still continuing on with our algebraic expressions. Yesterday we were writing algebraic expressions, and today we are simplifying algebraic expressions. Basically what that means is combining like terms. And if you recall, a term is a portion of an expression, and we can add or subtract like terms being constants or variables. So I've made this lovely T-chart here. We have the can-do side, so I'm going to highlight this in green. And we have the can't-do side, and I'm going to highlight this in pink. Red is go, green is go, red is stop. So we have green and pink, which is close enough. So what can you do when you're simplifying algebraic expressions? Well, you can add or subtract constants. Do you remember what a constant is? It's a number that sits all by itself. So let's underline those. There and there. I can combine those. How do I combine them? I look at the operation in front. So I take 3, it's a positive, plus 3. So I will end up adding those two together. Don't forget to rewrite your terms with variables. So I end up with 3 plus 3, which equals 6, and it's plus 6. So that I can do. But I can't do is over on the other side of my T-chart. I cannot add or subtract constants and terms with variables. So see how I have 3x plus 3? I would leave it alone. I can't make it like this, 6x. That doesn't work. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a nice X through it, a nice red X, pink X. You just leave it as is. What else can I do when I'm combining like terms? I can add or subtract terms with the same variable. Okay, so let's find our terms. We have 1, 2, 3 terms, and 2 of them have the same variable. So I can add them. And what would I do? I would take 3, and this is adding sign, addition sign, so 3 plus 7 is 10, and I make sure I write the variable, and then I just put my constant. Now I only have 2 terms in my expression. What I can't do is add or subtract terms that have different variables. So if you notice here, we have an X and we have a Y. So these are different variables. I can't say, well, let me just go ahead and subtract the 2 and get XY. That doesn't happen. You just leave it alone as is. And that's as simplified as it can get. You cannot get any more simplified for an algebraic expression here. Now let's look here what you can do. You can add or subtract exact variable combinations. What do I mean by that? Oh, you might see 2 variables in an expression, okay? These 2 terms have the same variable combination, AB, AB. Now, what I can do is I can subtract those. That's the operation. Now, one thing I want to remember is that AB, we make believe that there's a number 1 in front of it. So I'm going to just write it in red. You don't have to put it there, but you should remember that that means 1AB. And now we can actually perform the operation. And we can say 3 minus 1 is 2, and then we just write the combination, the variable combination. What we can't do is add or subtract variable combinations that differ. So even though we have B in both of them, this would stay the same. Make sure you don't decide, well, I can have 3A with 6B. That doesn't work like that. So that's a big no-no. You can't do that. Okay? Another thing that you can do is add or subtract the same variable and exponent combo. This is important. It's the same variable and exponent. So let's take a look. We have 2. My coefficient is 2, but my variable and exponent is x squared. Oh, and my variable and exponent is x squared. So these are exactly the same. So I can combine them, and I would end up with 2 plus 3, which equals 5x squared. What I can't do is I cannot add or subtract the same variable. Look at that, same variable with different exponents. So let's take a look. I have x is the same, but we have 3 and 2. So we would just leave it like that. That is simplified. So don't make the mistake of saying, well, I end up with 4x to the 5th. Can't do it. So that's a big no-no. This is as simplified as it gets. Now, in addition to simplifying terms within an expression, there is also when we use the distributive property. What that means is we distribute this number amongst what's ever inside our parentheses. So I wrote down multiply each number inside parentheses by the number outside parentheses. And I'm going to show you how we do this. So here we go. It's a three-step process. First, we take 5 and we multiply it to the first number in parentheses. And I end up with 5 times x. So that's the first thing we do. The next thing I do is, now this is a very important one. A lot of people might forget this one. We put in our operation. Then we do the second number in parentheses, and we take 5 times 3. So this was our first, this was the second thing, and this was the third thing. Now I can make this a nice condensed little expression by saying 5 times x is 5x plus 5 times 3 is 15. And that would be my answer. So let's do this. Same thing with this one over here. Again, first we multiply this. Then we take care of our subtraction sign. Then we multiply that. So we're distributing 3. So here we go. I take 3 times 2. Remember also 3 parentheses means multiply, so it kind of makes sense. 3 times 2, put in my subtraction sign, and then I take 3 times n, and I end up with 6 minus 3n. Just to make sure you remember, first, second, third. First, second, third. Now, we can work backwards with that as well. So let's turn the page and let's take a look at this. Now, what if I needed to use the distributive property to factor out the greatest common factor? Yes, we did learn this. So look at how we keep building upon what we've already learned. So the first step is we find the greatest common factor. We put the greatest common factor outside parentheses. And step 3 is the remaining number in variables go inside your parentheses. So here's our example. So first things first, do you guys remember how we did greatest common factor? We write an upside down division symbol or an L. We write the two numbers inside. What is a factor that's shared by both? 3. And we write whatever, after dividing by the factor they both share, we write it underneath. 27 divided by 3 is 9. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So now I said that was step 1. I put the greatest common factor. So my GCF is that. I put it on the outside, and then I write parentheses. And then I put whatever's remaining numbers and variables inside. So if I took 3 out of 27, I'd have 9. Don't forget your x. And then I took 3 out of the 3y, So I would have minus, keep your minus sign in, 1y, also known as 3 with the difference of 9x minus y. 1y is still y. Let's try another one. We have this one, so we're going to make our upside down division symbol, or L, and we say 16 and 2. What factor do these two numbers share? They share 2. Now I'm going to write right below it what the factor is that's left over. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So now my greatest common factor is 2. So I write 2, parentheses, and then I have 8, put my x in, and then I have minus again, and what's left over? It is 1y, and then I can just rewrite this as 2 parentheses 8x minus y, because 1y is equal to y. Either one of these are correct. And there you have it.